displayed on our graphics on our LCD display window. And so as soon as I hit enter, the first thing you see is LCD contrast, oscilloscope, and setup. And we have left and right arrows, a plus, a minus, and an exit. So if I highlight plus, it moves to oscilloscope, the next feature. If I highlight plus, it goes to setup. Minus, it brings me back to oscilloscope. Minus, it brings me back to LCD contrast. If I just hit plus, it'll just continuously scroll through all the features. So right now, if I'm on LCD contrast, and if I go enter, it highlights that feature. And so if I go up with my brightness of that, it gets so bright that I can't see anything, right? So all that is just the contrast of the display. And basically I'm just going over this just so we kind of sort of know what things do. So as soon as I hit enter, it's finished with that. If I go to oscilloscope and I hit enter, well, it gives me the detector. I can go enter detector and I can go start. And as long as I have a beam on, it'll start ramping. And even if I don't have a beam on, it's actually ramping right now. And it tells me that we have an input ramp on our analyzer, which is positive. If that was a steady DC level, that would be not positive. So this is just some troubleshooting stuff for me, realistically, that IXRF has put in it, which is really nice. So if I go exit, I go oscilloscope again, and I go X output, I hit enter, and I go start, it'll give me a ramp as soon as I go acquire the image. So that'll start giving me a sawtooth that is controlling the coils of the SEM. So your interaction with this is realistically none, but there is interaction in there if for some reason, Carl, you call me up and say, hey, Jim, this is going on. I might say, hey, Carl, can you go to the IXRF Analyzer, hit the menu button really quick, go to the oscilloscope, hit enter, and just hold the start button down for me? What do you see? And you're like, I see 10 volt steady line. You're like, okay, that's not good. and then you'd be like, okay, good, or not good. Detector's blown. Anyway, so it's troubleshooting for me. Your interaction, again, is really nothing there. But it's there, I'm explaining. The next thing we see is we come down and we see a bunch of lights here. So the first light that's lit is power. That should be lit green all the time. The next thing we see is preamp, and that should be blinking. That means it's ready to accept information. It's ramping. When we do have a beam on, that may stay lit, but it's really not lit. It's just blinking so fast that you think that it's lit. And then we have one more LED at the very top. It's labeled DBC. That stands for Digital Beam Control. And if we actively go in and tell the X-ray system to map, line scan, point analysis, wherever we take control of the scan coils of the SEM, that DBC will come on, letting us know that we are now in control of the microscope. DBC stands for, again, Digital Beam Control.
And if I may ask, just, we don't really have to know what's going on in that box.
That is correct.
Okay.
But
I mean, we can, but we don't have
if,
to
for
really
instance,
know.
Carl calls me up and says, hey, we've been trying to do some X-ray maps, and we're not doing them, something's going on, I'd be like, Carl, do me a favor, click on the camera icon in the IXRF software and tell me if the DBC light comes on. And he'll be like, nope, it's not coming on. That's right. That's right. And you'll be like, it's not coming on. Like, okay, we're not communicating with the hardware then. Let's reset the software bundle, because that tells me immediately if we're talking, if the software's talking to the hardware, because it's actually telling it to do something instead of looking for information. So it's very important for me and for whoever I'm troubleshooting with. So it's good just to know that they're there, they all have a feature and a function, and I know what they are. You guys don't have to know what they are, but for troubleshooting, I'm going to reference it. So this is good just to say, hey, Jimmy will reference this one day. So far, so good. And that's why I kind of hide it in the back of this, because realistically, you don't need to know what's going on, right? Also, there's a graph on there. It says C/S. You see where it says C/S here? C/S. And it has 1K over there. So that stands for counts per second. That's an auto scaler. So as soon as the electron beam is on, that will start moving. So if I turn my electron beam on, excuse me, just jumping around a little bit, all of a sudden we'll start getting a very slight bar graph, and it's moving, right? It's telling me right now if that's a scale of 1,000, that's 500, we've got around 400 counts per second.
So if we have any questions, we know we got a beam there.
That's correct. You know you have a beam there. So if you don't see a beam here, and this guy's moving, there's a beam in that column someplace.
And if we're not getting a good X-ray count, then we say, what the hell's wrong? You look at your counts are only 300.
That's correct. Then you'd be like, you know what? I need to move my probe current from 1.
Or increase my spot size.
That's right. That's what probe current is, spot size. Right? I'm moving my spot size from 1 to 19, and I look at that scale from 1,000, 2,000, went up to 4,000. It auto scale. and roughly we have around almost 3,000 counts a second. So that is a live analyzer that's, we don't need to tell, the software doesn't need to tell it to do anything. That's on, as long as the analyzer's on, and as long as you have a beam on, it's looking at events. Without the software being loaded or anything, it doesn't matter.
So even though we can't see any image,